Hello, everybody. My name is Pedro Dominguez, and for this week's adventures within professional communication and presentation, I will be addressing certain key factors to help you create the perfect presentation. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're using Keynote, it doesn't matter if you're using PowerPoint, because the same basics apply to both. In order to make this happen, I found a presentation on the slideshares.net. I will be analyzing this presentation in order to make mention of a few key factors you will want to keep in mind for when it's your turn in creating the perfect presentation. Okay? Now, with that being said, I chose creating a winner brand, and that comes from DBD International. Okay? And the message from their presentation is, in order to improve what your company stands for, find out what it is what your company is against of in order to make these improvements. Okay? It's a pretty good presentation overall, but let's get into the analyzing. We could start with unity. Okay, as mentioned by Alex Rister, for our week 2 lessons, it is the repetition of certain elements such as colors, shapes, or fonts, which gives your presentation the feel of it being organized, allowing for a better signal to noise ratio and clearer images and visuals for your audience. I feel like the presentation I selected actually handled that part very good. They stuck to one font, white in color, and every time they presented the font, there was a red background behind it. It looked sleek, looked professional, looked very good. One of the reasons why I selected it. Another key factor mentioned by Alex Rister on the week 2 lessons was picture superiority effect. And what we have here is the right combination of words with image. Okay, having those two actually has a better impact on the memory of your audience when compared to just delivering one slide with just some words and no visuals. And I'll further explain myself. For the presentation I selected, the very first slide said creating killer brand, influencing other people, but the actual image behind it was a gentleman in a suit choking out another guy who was already working on some paperwork. Now you see what happens here is I'm speaking of this because I remember it, thanks to the slide, thanks to the design. Now, if we change this up a little bit, you keep the slide with the word and take the visuals away, I will not be talking about it because more than likely I would have done forgot about it already. Okay? Now, most importantly, according to Alex Rister's 7 rules of visual design, the number one, what we're trying to do is we're trying to stay away from creating document-like presentations, okay? With that being said, we are not trying to have the audience read everything we are ready to say, okay? What we're trying to do is deliver images that will enhance the delivery of our presentation, is basically what we're trying to do here. And for the most part, with the presentation I selected, I feel like they did pretty good with that. They didn't use any bullets, okay? And the images that they used, when used, actually served well as visual enhancement. Okay. Now, according to the 5 rules of presentation by Nancy Duart, I took notice how the presentation I selected actually followed some of these rules. Okay. By observation, I see how practice by design and not decoration was actually applied by DBD International, and they did this by not overdoing, okay, any animations on the slide, or they didn't add any crappy clip art. They actually went one item at a time, therefore avoiding any clusters. All right. Another huge observation I did was spread ideas and move people. This rule states that you can actually inspire people by adding the right image or video. Now, they didn't use any videos, but what they did was when they did use these images, I felt like they made sure the images itself were matching the slide criteria, okay? It was always enhancing and supporting the idea of the presentation. Now, pretty good presentation overall. If you take a look at it, it has a pretty good business tip. But if there's one thing that I need to improve on this presentation, this actually goes according to Jesse D's 5 shocking design mistakes, okay? And what they did wrong was not having enough visuals. And I say this because between slides 26 to 59, it's just words and no pictures behind it, okay? I guess it's alright, but not for 33 slides in a row. We have 33 slides with absolutely nothing. See, what would happen here, if at any point you were going to lose anybody in the audience, it's right now. Now, as in for me, my preparation for future presentations, what I look to do is I'm definitely keeping in mind color schemes and theme unity. I'm also looking at no lack of visuals, and I'm also trying not to overdo the visuals. You know what I'm saying? But most importantly, what I'm really trying to do is I want to make sure that my slides help the audience see what I'm trying to say. And by doing that, I mean avoid the document slide presentation. Hope you guys enjoyed.